Please, after reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. So tonight, we are going to be starting with the bazaar announcement made by Corlus ministers. So yesterday, Tinubu had what they call the fake meeting, federal executive meeting, where some decisions were made, including financial decisions running into trillions of naira. Not that they have the money waiting somewhere for them to use, as much as they have told people that Tinubu's policies are currently earning Nigeria more money, but it's also earning Nigeria more borrowing, and then the Nigerians themselves more sorrowing. So they are being fed propaganda day in, day out, so that the government can still look good to to the people according to them. So what happened after the meeting? After their fake meeting, they said they approved some projects, and of course what they will cost. So that's what we're going to start looking into this evening. That's what we're going to start from, rather. Even though we have Bulaba, who was also with Shewan Kimbaloye last night. He also made, as usual, like it's like every week, he gets invited to come and spill his nonsense, praise Tinubu, and pretty much, undermine or downplay whatever it is the opposition says they are doing. So it was there. And this time around, it didn't just tell, their viewers, it didn't just tell them that Tinubu would clear the southern votes and northern votes. Pretty much like Tinubu is going to have a landslide throughout, 2027. So he went on to allocate, the figures. And he said something about Goodluck Egbere Jolantan, that some people are dragging him into 2027. They are just doing so to disgrace him, because right now the entire south Niger Delta, they are with Tinubu. If their governor is yet to cross to APC, they've openly declared their support for him. Southeast, again, he also bragged that Tinubu will have more than 2 million votes in the southeast, and on like that. So let's start with the boring part, the announcement of the bazaar, the looting galore. So welcome to Mayegun's Diary Political once again, the Temple of Truth. Please, after reading the caption of the broadcast and reading the description of the broadcast as well, kindly remember to like it and then share it to invite everyone that you can invite. The first person is the Minister of Misinformation. I don't even know his name, but you recognize him here, announcing what they call the basic, what they call the approved, borrowing and, contract. We are still coming to which contract to, but first part.
A presentation to the Federal Executive Council, and it was considered. The following 6 points were taken, and ministers were charged to adhere to them. The first one is that all procurements under the 2024 appropriation should be concluded by September 2025, and that awards should only be made subject to the availability of funds to avoid unnecessary liabilities. The second one is that ministers are requested to forward to the BPP a comprehensive list of projects that have been awarded under their ministries and their parastatals for the 2024-2025 fiscal years for analysis and transmittal to the President's office. The third one is that ministries, departments, and agencies should give preference to made in Nigeria goods. Now, recall that the Federal Executive Council had earlier approved the Nigeria First policy, where a directive has been given to MDS to prioritize only made in Nigeria products unless and until there are situations where this, of course, is not possible. And so further to that, Mr. President and the Federal Executive Council today considered that MDS must give preference to this, the local use of companies in the delivery of works and services. And these works, goods, and services must, however, conform to international standards and must be certified by relevant government agencies. Because we say that we want Nigeria First policy, does not mean that procedures and processes will not also be followed. Point number 4 is that honorable ministers have been directed that a significant number of their projects under the 2025 budget are procured using the open competitive bidding. Of course, details of compliance of this should be forwarded also to the BPP for action. Number 5, there is also the need for the Ministry of Finance to ensure that the DG of BPP is included in the team that will negotiate loans that are used for infrastructural development. Recall that occasionally loans are being sought, as we have had at various times, from the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy. Now, there is this decision that when these loans are procured, the DG of BPP be also involved. This will ensure adherence and strictness to let down procedures. The sixth one is that the Finance Act of 2020 intentionally stipulated that government-owned companies and enterprises should comply with the provisions of the Public Procurement Act. Now, the BPP Director General brought this to the floor of the Federal Executive Council. What he said is that because some of these companies are publicly quoted or they are owned by government, they don't necessarily comply to this laid-down procedure. And therefore, he reminded all ministers and members of the Federal Executive Council that the Finance Act of 2020 intentionally stipulates that government-owned companies and enterprises must comply.
Because I don't want to waste much of our time. I was reading some of those jargons, but open bidding. He mentioned something about open bidding. That is the contractors that they are giving the, oh, hang on. I think my microphone is off. Sorry about that. So he said something about, this kid. I'm going to take a sec. So I'm going to make you go listen to Devulumai, who has been announcing the contracts that they approved. Do you understand? So when I come back, I'll kind of like mix them up together. Listen to this part.
Thank you. The Federal Executive Council review of 152 kilometers of roads that is sliced into 2 sections by the previous administration, Kano Katsina Road. The first section was awarded in 2013 for 14 billion and reviewed to 24 billion by the previous administration. And so due to the realities of time, this 74.1 kilometer is reviewed to 68 billion. We have a total funding 2024 appropriation budgetary is 6 billion and 2025 is 34 billion. And the section 2 is the remaining kilometer of the road, which is, remaining about 79.5 kilometers. And it was awarded in 2019 for a contract sum of 29 billion, reviewed by the previous administration to a contract sum of 46 billion. But due to the realities of time, we've rescoped it and reviewed it to 96.115 billion. Between 2024 and 2025 appropriation, we have a total of 80 billion for this. We have similar works in but new project in Iyin Ilawe Road in Ekiti State. It's a total of 30.2 kilometers. 10 kilometers was already awarded and is ongoing. Transport, this is not bus terminal. So it's 30.2 kilometers. It's in 3 sections. First section was awarded, which is 10 kilometers. Now the sections 2 and 3 are awarded, 10.1 kilometers each, and each is awarded. The second section is 16.77 billion, and then section 2. Section 3, the last section, is 17.275 billion. We also submitted a memo, and the theme of the memo is approval for constructive engagement on the rehabilitation or construction of new Kata and Tom Mainland bridges in Lagos State. I drew the attention of FEC to the fact that we've been intervening some new construction, some emergencies in a number of bridges nationwide, like Jemeta Bridge in Adamawa, already completed. Mutala Mohammed Bridge in Kogi State is ongoing. We have Jeba Bridge in Niger State. We have Gashua Bridge in Yobe. We have Eko Kata Marine Bridge and Independence Bridge, Tom Mainland Bridge, and the Kata Bridges in Lagos. We have Ibi Bridge in Taraba State, Artisan Bridge in Enugu State, Apoha Bridge in Ebonyi State, Opobo Bridge in Rivers State, Barrow Bridge in Niger State, Buruku Bridge in Benue State, 3 numbers collapsed bridges in East-West Road, 2 in Delta and 1 in Bayelsa State. So these are bridges were, just to mention but a few. Now, what are the issues of Tom Mainland Bridge and Kata Bridge? In 2019, there was a study to find out what is happening, below the water of Kata Bridge and the, Tom Mainland Bridge. And it was discovered that there were a lot of problems because the piles were installed in the technical terms of skin friction because rock would not be discovered. Skin friction is a method whereby you secure the piles. And under the aggregation of the piles, you have the pile cap. So it was discovered that these piles, being held by sand, is being washed away due to illegal mining of sand and due to also ocean, current. And so in 2019,
ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún sí lálìkìyàmọ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. ẹni
Lórí burúkú ni o, devil ló mà yìí. It's all those talk. That's the same way we kept, talking all that nonsense, jargons on their coastal road, Lagos Calabar coastal road. Anyway, let me quickly pick on the other one, the first one, who said they had a competitive bidding for all of these contracts. No, they don't. There was never any public announcement about any of their contracts. You can't see it anywhere. There are contracts that, for instance, when they wanted to give this 18 trillion naira Lagos Calabar Road project out, they just came out to announce it just like that. It was already awarded to Shaguri, Tinubu's confidant. And so many other in fact, all other ongoing contracts under Bokwari that this Devulumai has been kind of like, as their work minister taking over. He has succeeded in not only just canceling most of the contract, he got them replaced with their own chosen contractors. No public bidding. Now, you might say, well, they are just working with people who can deliver. Great. Have you seen the ridiculous amount of money they are putting on them, right? So because there's no bidding, no nothing, everything is done with, in fact, there is no budgetary provision for any of what Tinubu is doing. Do you know what they did? Which in itself, I believe is illegal, right? What Tinubu and his gang, what they did was that when Tinubu came in, they set up what they call the Presidential Infrastructural Fund. This is like a wallet created by Kolu for infrastructural development. It is not subjected to any form of appropriation, no. Not subjected to any form of National Assembly oversight, no. It is strictly for Tinubu and his circle. And what do they do with, where did they get the fund from? Loans. Loans that most of them are currently being hidden from Nigerians. Books are being doctored. Documents are being faked just to present a different picture to the public. And that is why when you take a look at those who claim to be experts, they just can't really put their head around it. How would according to them, how would the top 1% of the population, the politicians and their friends in the banking sector and what have you, how come they are making so much money? Because according to them, Nigerian stock has grown so much, but the growing of Nigerian stock, according to them, is not based on revolutionized power sector, or should I say, an increased manufacturing in the country. That the country is busy now. It's like construction site to every, and you can say, well, the amount of money that has been invested in construction this or construction that or manufacturing this and that, these are real value asset, like real money. But Tinubu and his gang, they have created their voodoo economy. The voodoo economy where they are in partnership with IMF, World Bank, and so many other lenders who are the ones who are sitting together advising them on their economic policies and how it should be. So when you now look at some of them, you'll be like, how come the whole thing is not trickling down to the people? Because the people are basically not any factor in this other than squeeze them as much as you can. So Tinubu created the fund, which eventually will probably be their own scandal and their end eventually. So it is from that fund that Tinubu went on to go and borrow money for the coastal road. They've succeeded in borrowing over 2.4 trillion naira so far for the coastal road. And similarly, most of every other thing he claims to be doing is also, and when you get to check and say, how much is the kilometer per kilometer of this your road, the substandard test of your building, right? They will tell you stories that will possibly make you not to be interested again. So here is another one. In their fake meeting, they said it was in that same fake meeting that they approved nearly 800 billion naira for the renovation of Muritala Mohammed Airport in Lagos. They don't have that money. It is from the same Presidential Infrastructural Fund or something. It is from that money that Otobo Keyamo got the approval of the Central Bank Minister of Finance to go ahead and borrow over $500 million for for the upgrade of the airport. Who are those who will do the airport? Because before they tell you that this thing is going to cost 1 naira, that simply means that somebody has already done the costing, done the budgeting, everything, and they have already presented a proposal which the government found kind of like good, and they approved it in their FEC. So when did people bid for all of this? When did they bid for this?